So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Jubilee information session. So obviously my name is April. I am your client manager and representative for Quantum United. So in attendance with myself, I have Liz Lee, who's the assistant client manager for the Jubilee estate as well. Basically, what we'll be going over tonight is we'll be going over introducing Quantum United management, our role as the Owners Corporation manager, breaking down the Jubilee structure, including what is an Owners Corporation, the owners and lot owners obligations, and your Owners Corporation committee. We'll also be going over into detail the community presentation team and explaining the compliance audit process. As well as we'll also be explaining the way matters are communicated to the Jubilee estate. We'll also address the annual general meeting, which is scheduled to occur in October, and we'll be going through the AGM documents, as well as also a breakdown of the financials and your budget that is proposed. And then we'll be later ending on a open Q&A session, which you can answer questions, ask questions, and we're happy to answer them. So yeah, feel free to use the ask questions, the question and answer box, and the chat function in the Zoom. Liz will be answering them as we go, but for any particular tricky questions, we will answer them the best that we can at the end of the presentation. Most of the time, what we'll be talking about throughout the entire presentation will be, we'll most likely answer your questions as we go. All right. Let's have a look. So we'll just start off. So this is the Quantum United management team. We have an entire team dedicated to providing services. In particular, again, myself as client manager, Leslie as your assistant client manager. We also have our team leader, Sherlyn Peters. We also have additional support from our compliance team leader, Patricia Barnes, our general manager, Jonathan Smith, and our managing director, Michael Darby. In terms of our role, Quantum United is essentially the Owners Corporation manager, which provides services that include business administration. Business administration involves record keeping, the OC register, keeping a record of the OC register, making sure information is up to date for owners to obtain information, financial management, managing all of the contractor invoices for any services that may have been undertaken, issuing of the levy notices for each quarter, managing the Owners Corporation bank accounts, making sure all financials are audited properly by a qualified accountant. Included under business administration, there is insurance obligations, making sure that the common property insurance is up to date and suitable cover is sought. Issuance of OC certificates. These are for the owners that decide to sell their properties. Also VCAT and debt recovery, conducting a thorough debt recovery process for lot owners that are in arrears, and provide prompt opportunities for owners to pay their levies off. This includes following up owners up and making sure they are paying for their levies, and providing a payment plan option for the owners that require it as well. All right, so we're going to quickly touch base on asset management. Just management of the common property areas is listed on the plan of subdivision. Governance and legislative compliance. So that's making sure that AGMs and committee meetings are conducted, issuing compliance letters and enforcing rules and regulations for the Jubilee residents, providing the committee with relevant advice to make sure that the committee stay in line with the Owners Corporation Act, the Owners Corporation regulations, breach of any registered rules and all model rules and design guidelines. All right. This also, in terms of community, Quantum aim to try and provide a sense of community for the estate by coordinating events and competitions for the residents to be involved with. You may have already noticed the Jubilee Cutest Pet competition held in August. And obviously, yeah, the aim of the events is to provide a sense of connection and for the community, and sometimes it's also nice to meet your neighbours as well. Under our role, we do communicate. And issue several communications to the community as well. Obviously, we have several platforms, including like obviously phone, emails, issuing notices on the Jubilee Community app, the monthly newsletters, and addressing any kind of matters that we see on the residents' Facebook page as well. Okay. In terms of Jubilee, the mill quarter structure, what we'll be going over is what is an owners corporation, lot owners obligations, your committee, and just a small breakdown on the OC and your fee contributions as we go. So what is an owners corporation? An owners corporation is formed upon the registration of a plan of subdivision. So when a plan of subdivision is created, it would contain common property that would need to be maintained. It is a legal entity that combines all of the lot owners in a plan of subdivision. So every owner that purchases a lot within the plan of subdivision becomes an automatic member. Owners corporations can create rules which are binding on all members, including lot owners, tenants, and their guests. Government legislation passed by the Victorian Parliament provides the legal framework on how the Owners Corporation operates. So this is often referred to as the Owners Corporation Act, the OC regulations, and the Subdivision Act. The owners do have a legal obligation to administer, the Owners Corporation has a legal obligation to administer and maintain the common property. Move on to my next slide. So in terms of lot owners' obligations, every lot owner has a financial and legal obligation towards the Owners Corporation, which is primarily, but not limited to, approving an annual budget at each annual general meeting to meet the Owners Corporation's operational expenses, to contribute their share of the budget, and comply with the Owners Corporation legislation, rules, and guidelines. In terms of Jubilee's current committee, your current committee comprises of Colby, I'm so sorry if I say the names wrong, Colby Somogi, who is the chairperson, Shahir Ahmed, Devanshi Nijam, Praveen Krishnamurthy, Adil Reza, Anand Sangavelu, Varun Mahajan, Pinder Singh, Philip Turchett, Vipul Mittal, and Sean Barber, who is a representative of Lotus Living. So in terms of the committee operations, although all owners collectively create the Owners Corporation, to manage and administer the Owners Corporation, a committee is elected at the annual general meeting, and they work alongside the OC manager to meet OC obligations. A typical committee would comprise of a committee of 3 to 7 members in accordance with the OC Act. And the purpose of the committee is to make ongoing decisions on behalf of owners between each of their annual general meetings. The committee has delegated authority to make decisions on behalf of all of the owners within the Owners Corporation. Members can raise issues and provide feedback to the Owners Corporation manager for appropriate operation of the Owners Corporation. Okay, so the committee duties do include financial management, assisting in OC rules and design guidelines monitoring, attending committee meetings, facilitating resolutions to grievance matters as well. So in relation to the Jubilee estate, it is a very unique residential community. It's not like a normal standalone home, and there are benefits to being in an Owners Corporation. Mainly, you do get exclusive use of the Club Jubilee 1, where you get access to the pool, gym, and outdoor events area. You do also have a community presentation team that conduct regular weekly compliance management and breaches, and those are conducted weekly. In terms of your OC, what does your OC fee contribute to? So the Owners Corporation has an annual operating budget, which is prepared and approved with anticipated and proposed expenses for the financial year. It is only your Owners Corporation fee based on this budget that contributes to the operations of the Owners Corporation and to meet its purpose, which is for administration and management of the OC, compliance management, which is weekly, and your membership fee for your Club Jubilee 1, and also your fees contribute towards security patrols. With the security patrols, they're conducted by Security Innovations, and you've most likely already met Rowan and Grant around the estate. The team's really active, and we've had really good feedback from them as well. So in terms of community presentation, we'll go over the purpose of the community presentation. So those are the compliance inspectors that hop around the estate, obviously monitoring the design guidelines and rules. We'll just go over quickly the purpose and the process, the extensive process that we go through as well. So obviously, community presentation encourages visual appealing streetscapes. They provide certainty around the standard and consistency of housing and landscaping. They also assure owners that everyone will contribute equally to achieving a strong neighbourhood character, and it also protects owners' investments as well. In terms of the compliance breach process, look, we have provided a diagram on the breach process, and there's a lot of administrative work that does go into making sure that we follow the breach process properly. And obviously we have 2 inspectors that pop around. I think they are scheduled for Mondays, and they do, you may be aware that they do issue courtesy letters when a breach has occurred. So obviously our inspectors pop out, you do get a courtesy letter. The courtesy letter just gives you a reminder that you have 14 days to comply and rectify. So the next process would be, if the breach is not rectified after 14 days, then a letter of demand is issued. So that's the notice to rectify. So again, that's another 14 days. So essentially that's already 28 days. Obviously, after that process, if it's not, if the breach is still not rectified, then we go through a Section 55, then we issue a Section 55. So a fee for a Section 55 is $65, and that gives you another 28 days to rectify. And then the next step is to issue a Section 157, a final notice to rectify the breach. Again, another 28 days is applied. And then ultimately, if after these are issued, a grievance hearing is scheduled with the committee. That's a pretty extensive process that we go through. And essentially, sometimes it could take up to 2 to 3 months to kind of rectify a breach, depending on if the owner or resident complies. Essentially, most of the time we do resolve most of these matters before any kind of Section 155 or Section 157 is issued. And our team monitor that day to day. And there is also room to request extensions, and that's also monitored by our team. And yeah, there's again just a very extensive process to to the compliance breach process. So any questions, feel free to put that in the chat. Okay. So in terms of communication, our team does issue quite a few notices. If you're not aware, there is a Jubilee Residents Community app that is free to download. We do also issue several e-bulletins, including a monthly Jubilee newsletter. We kind of advise on the newsletters 14 calendar days or 14 working days. So it is 14 calendar days. Just in relation to communication, we do also monitor the Facebook, Jubilee Facebook residents page, where if there's a matter that needs to be addressed, we're often tagged in particular posts to clarify any kind of information. And obviously holding information sessions just like this one, just to kind of, and the purpose of these is mostly to educate owners before an annual general meeting, which we've found has been very useful in terms of providing information to the community before the annual general meeting. Okay. So in terms of the upcoming annual general meeting, we will be providing, we'll just advise the date and time again, go over the annual general meeting pack, the virtual meeting protocols, and just the committee nomination process as well. So the upcoming annual general meeting, the annual general meeting is scheduled for Thursday, the 6th of October at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom. You will see the registration link and the QR code displayed on the screen, which you will need to use to register in advance. So this is also available within your meeting packs. The annual general meeting was originally scheduled for Thursday, the 22nd of September, but obviously with the recent announcement of the public holiday, we've had to reschedule to Thursday, the 6th of October. But the meeting pack, notices of that has been sent out already, of the rescheduled date, and we are utilising the same annual general meeting pack that was issued, even though the dates are changed ultimately on the pack itself. Feel free to take a picture of the QR code to register. So we would like members to register as soon as possible if you're going to be attending the annual general meeting. It's mostly just a cross-check to make sure that all members are financial and you're a lot owner. And it gives our team just a little bit of time to make sure that everything is correct prior to hosting the meeting. So in terms of the annual general meeting pack, what's included in your annual general meeting pack? Obviously the notice of meeting, the agenda, a manager's report is provided, the financial year-end accounts, a proposed budget for 2022 and 2023, the committee nomination forms and proxy forms. And with the committee nomination forms and the proxy forms, our office do require a copy of these prior to the annual general meeting. And the proxy forms, and so the deadline for those, we do try and make sure that they are received as soon as possible, but we'd like to receive these by Wednesday, the 5th of October. We believe that all of you would have received a copy of the agenda packs already, and we are also happy to send a copy if you haven't received it already. A copy, we're happy to send a copy to you after the presentation. Just mention that in the chat. So has the Zoom link been sent out for the annual general meeting? Yes, so the same link that's already been issued on the agenda it's the same Zoom link that applies. But just touch base with us, Lucy, after the presentation if you're having any kind of trouble with the Zoom link. Okay. In terms of virtual meeting protocols, because the annual general meeting is going to be held online, Once we've approved your registration, you will receive a link to join the meeting. You may join from a computer device or a mobile phone, but just kindly ensure when you enter the meeting that your name is correctly displayed, so we can identify you during conversations and voting. During the meeting, you may type in questions within the Q&A box, similar to this one. I'll just show you a sample of what to expect. So this will be shown during the meeting. And yeah, we will answer them if relevant to a particular item on the agenda. Otherwise, towards the end of the meeting, we can discuss additional matters under general business. You may also wish to use this chat function, especially when you would like to cast a vote. So if you do have one or more proxies at the annual general meeting, you may also press the virtual raise your hand button if you wish to speak at the meeting. So that is this is what it looks like here. Okay. So in terms of voting at the annual general meeting, each motion on the agenda will be read out, and a poll window will be displayed on your screens, very similar to this one. And you can vote for, against, or abstain on any of the motions presented. Once you tick your preferred vote, you can click on the submit button, and once we have majority of the members' votes, we will display the results on the screen. So we also wish to advise that if you have any outstanding OC fees on the day of the AGM, you will not be able to vote. So if you have registered for the AGM and you are not financial, we will send you an email with the statement and request you to make a payment at least 3 days prior to ensure that the funds are received within the Owners Corporation bank account. If you do hold one or more proxies, we do just advise that you use the poll vote function and just type in the motion and number, and you'll vote for or against or abstain in the chat window so that we can allocate those proxies to you when we issue the annual general meeting minutes. So yeah, we will have a record of all of the proxies prior to the meeting. So yeah, it'll obviously be mentioned when we issue the annual general meeting minutes. In terms of the committee election process, if you wish to nominate yourself to be on the Owners Corporation Committee, we do request that you send through your committee nomination form, which was already provided, and it's also available on the community app. Alternatively, you can nominate verbally at the annual general meeting if you are present. And again, yeah, we just want to mention that you need to make sure that you are financial prior to the annual general meeting occurring. And if you have any kind of questions, please contact our office and we're happy to clarify whether or not you are a financial or non-financial member. So I'll just quickly touch on some of the key roles and responsibilities of a committee member before we get a number of nominations come through. It's good to kind of go over the roles and responsibilities. So members know what to expect prior to signing up to being an Owners Corporation committee member, and it kind of and there are a set kind of guidelines and rules that you do need to follow when being a member on the committee. So after the AGM and the committee election, the first committee meeting will be held usually as we do aim within 1 month of the annual general meeting. So at this meeting, Quantum will provide a full induction to the members and at the meeting they will elect a chairperson, acting chairperson and a secretary. The secretary is generally the Owners Corporation manager. Attendance to the committee meeting is an important requirement, but just so that everyone is aware, a committee member must attend a minimum of 50% of the committee meetings. And just as part of the induction process, we recommend that the committee members do a small fiduciary duty test to ensure members have undivided loyalty, the ability to identify difference between reality and perception. So a duty to be informed and see all sides of thinking and planning ahead, and the ability to showcase professional values and behaviour. So every committee meeting, members will need to declare any kinds of conflicts of interest in respect of the items on the agenda and the decisions that are made. Members are expected to have a good understanding of the model rules, the registered OC rules, and the Jubilee design guidelines. And obviously, in accordance with the OC Act, a member of the committee must not be in arrears. Okay. In terms of just a quick, does Quantum United assist with ongoing meetings? If so, how? Yes. So as I've just mentioned, we are usually nominated as the secretary for the Owners Corporation. We do issue agendas, provide a reasonable time frame for members to put forward agenda items, and we facilitate the committee meetings. When you're nominated when the committee is elected at the annual general meeting, we do kind of send communication to those members only. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. In terms of the financials and budget, the end of financial year is the 1st of July 2021 to June the 30th of June 2022. Obviously, a set of financials was circulated with the agenda. There was a closing balance of $549,000, so that's just rounded up in round numbers. The budget does include security patrol costs, club membership fee, management and administration, and insurance. So the proposed budget has set the fee for all lot owners at $1,100 per annum. Yeah, thanks, Knight. And kia ora back. All right. And now we've actually kind of reached the end of our presentation, which is great. But we did have a couple of registered questions that was sent through when you registered for the information session. So I'll just quickly go over those really briefly. And obviously all of the questions are anonymous, so they're not targeted at any kind of members. So in terms of the questions that were raised, I'll go over these questions really quickly. We'll go over the answers, and then any kind of open questions that you'd like, we'll just refer to, you can utilize the question and answer chat box. All right, so a member raised, there is an inconsiderate neighbour who harms peace, security and harmony of the estate. Basically, in terms of just a general answer, the Owners Corporation can only kind of facilitate the rules or any Owners Corporation rules that have been breached. The OC, in terms of, so there is a fine line between what is within our scope and what is within our role and what is not. Obviously, if there's any kind of safety concerns, we would refer that to as a police matter. And most of the time, if you have a direct dispute with a neighbour, it is a civil matter that you'll have to kind of go through an external process. The Owners Corporation can be sued for going beyond their scope of what we can do within our roles. But in terms of, just general nuisance, most of the time that is kind of a civil matter that we can't that we cannot assist with. But if it's anything particular, please write to our office, and we'll address it with you directly. Okay. Another question that was raised is the presentation of the front yards is becoming worse. So what are the plans for the Owners Corporation to improve this? So like I've already mentioned in the presentation, that we do have a compliance team that go out every week. The committee so far have requested the upkeep of the estate as their priority. So there are specific rules that our inspectors have prioritised, and the presentation of the front yards is one of them. Obviously, with our extensive breach process, we kind of there's obviously a lot of steps that we have to take. So essentially, like I said before, it could ultimately take up to more than two months before a breach is actually rectified. Okay. Another member had a question raised in terms of transparency from developers and facility providers on the costs. So I'm assuming that is in relation to Club Jubilee 1. So obviously that is outside of our scope as OC manager to kind of get direct answers for. But there are documents in place in terms of the facility agreement that are legal to the Owners Corporation. It doesn't really indicate in those documents. It doesn't really indicate that any financial entity is required to provide the operational financial information in relation to Club Jubilee 1. But yeah, obviously we do work closely. We try to work closely with the developer in terms of getting as much information as we can. But yeah, like I said, it's not really required. They're not really required to provide that information to the Owners Corporation. Okay. In terms of there's a couple more questions. There was another question raised about, I'm interested to know about the sports facilities like an oval or tennis court timelines if available. Again, that's something that we cannot answer, that Quantum can answer, but we can kind of we can request information in relation to that to the developer. If you just want to, we'll contact the developer directly to try and get an answer and kind of communicate that back to you as well. Okay. One of the other questions is, when are the fees due and how are we informed about them? Yeah, so the next levy period is from the 1st of October to the 31st of December. We haven't issued the next lot of levies just yet, only on the basis because the annual general meeting is going to occur. The proposed budget that will be presented needs to be adopted at the annual general meeting. So we're just waiting for instructions on that at the annual general meeting first before we kind of issue the next levy, because based on what is approved at the annual general meeting, that will kind of proportion how we balance the budget for the rest of the financial year. So yeah, we're just waiting until the annual general meeting occurs, and then the next levy will be issued after that time. Okay. And the last question that we've also received is there a way we can make tradesmen and construction workers responsible for their rubbish rather than it blowing all over the place? Again, that's kind of a developer question. I don't have an official answer of how to kind of fix the matter, but again, like I've said, if we'll refer the question back to the developer and get back to you with an official answer. We do know that this is a rubbish blowing over from construction materials is an issue at the estate. So yes, we'll try to address that with the developer directly, or with any kind of relevant lot owners that apply to that problem. So yeah, we'll come back to you on a direct answer from the developer. Okay. Are there any kind of, those are kind of all the registered questions that we've received so far. Are there any kind of other questions that anyone else would like to ask? Will the IGA have a bearing on the OC fee? No. Simple answer, no. That's a separate, that's a commercial matter, and something that the developer will be, well, has kind of coordinated, but yeah, no. So the IGA isn't a part of common property. So yeah, just a simple answer, no. Are there any kind of other questions? What other estates do Quantum United manage? We do manage quite a few estates. I suppose in the western area, I can refer to, there's another one in Mamburin, which is located in Wyndham Vale as well. Point Cook area is, there's also the Saltwater Estate, Saltwater Coast. And also Alamanda Estate, Quantum manages that one as well. I suppose those are the ones that are local that I can kind of refer to quickly. We do have other estates that we manage out in Berwick, which is the Minter Estate, and also we also manage Dellaray, which is out in Clyde North as well. So we do have other estates that reach as far as Torquay, but yeah, we do have an extensive portfolio under Quantum United. Cool. Are there any other questions that anyone would like to ask? No. All right, so I'll stop sharing my screen. And yeah, I suppose I've answered questions as best as I can. If you have any other further queries that we can touch base with you offline, our email is jubilee@quantumunited.com.au, and we can we're happy to ask any other answer any other queries. How can we ensure fair elections with an online AGM? So what do you mean in terms of fair? So a lot of if you do put your name forward on the committee, so you are it is as per the members at the meeting that will be voting for nominated members. Essentially, like I said before, we need a minimum of 3 members, and we can have up to 7 members nominate themselves. Automatically, if 7 members put their names forward for the committee, a lot of people, if 7 members put their name forward, then you're kind of automatically adopted onto the committee, is what I mean. And thanks, Knight, for the feedback. Thank you. A lot of people aren't tech savvy. But prior to issuing the agenda documents, we did kind of put out a survey to kind of, we did request members what their preference was in terms of holding the annual general meeting. We did have the option of having it in person as well, online, or even having both options. And majority, we did kind of circulate the survey results, and majority of the members that completed the survey, their preference was to have it online. We also kind of assist with members if they are having tech savvy problems. Yeah, I would just suggest just call our office if you have any issues in terms of technical problems with the Zoom app. How are these not tech savvy informed about the annual general meeting? So yeah, obviously we've issued the agenda and notice via email and post. So all of the members that have requested, they received the documents via post. A hard copy of the meeting agenda is circulated as well. In terms of the annual general meeting, as I said, the preference was to have it online, probably to utilize more members or make sure more members are in attendance compared to having it in person. But yeah. Any other queries that anyone else would like to raise? No? All right. When the annual general meeting occurs, we do issue the minutes of the meeting, which all members receive a copy of, and we also put it on the community app if members would like a copy of the minutes as well. If for some reason they don't receive a copy via post. The number of residents in the Mill Quarter. Let me just check that. Liz, can you just double check how many lots are registered for Jubilee if you can, please? And if you can just type the answer, that'll be great. Are there any further? So there is 1,141 registered lots for the Mill Quarter right now. Any other questions? I think been a great bunch. Otherwise, thank you very much for taking the time to attend tonight. A recording of this information session will be provided online. And obviously, again, just touch base with us via email. All right. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone.